Hello and welcome to my creative space. Welcome to another DIY video. Today I have put together 12 of my favorite fall DIYs. It's a long video. Grab a snack, sit and enjoy. I hope you get inspired. Let's jump right in. For this project, I will be using a wreath. I am going to show you this metal one is 18-inch and then this one. This one is actually $3, but I purchased it from Dollar Tree. I'm also going to use a bunch of greenery. You get to pick. I got some flowers, these really cute balls that I love for some reason. And then, you just pick your greenery to fill this in. I'm also going to use some ribbon, different colors, and some twine. Now, originally, I was going to use the wire wreath. However, we changed our mind, but I still wanted to show you this part because I want to show you that you can still use it. The first thing I'm gonna do, I am going to take, so I only bought 4 of these and I needed to split it so I can have a little bit more, and so I leave 3 of the branches on the bunch, and then I take the other 2 off, and then I just wrap them together so I can create a few more bunches. Now I'm using my pliers just to make sure that they're gonna be secure, and here we have it. Now I will do the other ones off camera. Now I am going to do kind of similar to what I just did. However, I will tell you right now, I will show you this, but I do end up taking some of these apart, and you will see why here in a little bit. But so this bunches come with 4 little flowers. I left them in bunches of 2, and that is so I can distribute them and have enough to cover the whole wreath. Now here I am again with the little pliers trying to tighten them to be sure that they're not gonna go anywhere. Now the next step is to grab a wreath. So originally, again, I wanted to use this one because it's bigger, and I thought I could still make it work, but I didn't have enough greenery to cover the whole thing. So I am still gonna show you what I did. I took each of these little bunches, and then I just grabbed some twine to secure them in place, because this is going to go in, or I was thinking that this one was gonna go in my front porch door, and I need it to be really secure so when it's windy and crazy outside, none of these would fall off. But after adding the third one, I realized I don't have enough greenery, so I end up switching for this straw wreath. This one was $3. I purchased this from the Dollar Tree, from the 5 and below section, and it's big. I like it. It's a good size. And then this one, I didn't have to worry about perfectly covering the whole thing, because I do want this straw to peek through. So I grabbed my twine and I started wrapping each of these branches. Initially, I started wrapping one at a time, but then I realized that that was not efficient, because doing one at a time was going to be a lot of time spent, and I was like, I can just start wrapping it. So that's what I did. I did a few wraps around each branch, and I just make sure it was really tight, and then I continued to add them. You can always also use that wire that is meant for wreaths. I just didn't have any, and twine works just as well. And then I just don't want to show you every single branch, but I do show you here how I'm ending this, and you can still see that there's some spaces and it looks kind of weird, but don't worry, we'll fix that. Now that I'm wrapping the last one, I'm going to turn it over, and then I'm just going to trim my twine and create a knot in the back, just securing that everything's gonna stay in place. And then here we have it. Don't worry, we'll fix this. I know it looks kind of silly right now, but I promise you it turns out amazing. Now after I am done wrapping the branches, now it's time for the flowers, and I place the flowers where I want them to go. So I am going to start by like I said, these are bunches of 2. So I started just shoving them under the twine that it's already there. And that's the good thing about this straw wreath, that you'll have space to, shove those flowers in and not have to wrap anymore. Now here I am. These ones I started to add individually, And you know, because I wanted to place them in certain spaces, and so I was like, it's more efficient if I just take these flowers apart and then I just start shoving them where I want them to go, instead of having to, you know, kind of wiggle them around. And then here I am adding one more flower, and again, I don't want to show you every single one, but you know, you get the idea of what I'm trying to do. And then there were some that were sticking a lot, so I kind of just trimmed them with my pliers. Now I'm going to take these balls and I'll take them or I'll cut them individually, and honestly I just pull them off and they come right off. And then I'm going to start applying them to the wreath, and I really just put them wherever I think I need that little pop of green and that little pop of white. And then once, you know, I'm happy with how it's looking, then we'll move on to the next step. And yeah, so let me know if you already started decorating for fall. I haven't. These were actually my first DIYs, and I'm so happy and so excited how these ones turned out. I can't wait. I'm trying to think what else I can do. I want to do some Halloween decor. I can't wait. Okay, so here is a wreath. Now you can leave it as is, but me being extra, I will be creating a bow, and this ribbon is from Dollar Tree. I think I have plenty of orange and yellow on my wreath, so I decided to go with this really cute green color. Now, I'm not perfect at creating bows. I really don't know what I'm doing, so I just took this ribbon and then I just tied a little bow. The best I can come up with is I tie it how I tie my shoes, and then I just kind of pull on it, and then I decided how big I needed it to be, and then I just trimmed the other end. Now that I have my cute little bow, I am going to kind of fluff it up to be sure that that's good. And then I wanted to add still some orange in this burlap ribbon. I am going to be creating 2 additional bows. The burlap ribbon one is going to be a little bit bigger than the orange. And then I am going to cut 2 pieces of each. And then once I have that, I decided I wanted to get this bow ready. So I am going to dovetail the ends on this green bow. And then we'll put it to the side to move on to the next step. Here we have it. So cute. Now I'm going to start with the burlap ribbon. I'm going to add glue to the ends. Now I don't want to burn my fingers, so I kind of just clip these in place. And then I went to grab the other, and then I glued it, and then I think it was fine. I switched the little clips, and then we're gonna let it dry, and then I do the same to the other one just off camera. Then I'm gonna take this one and I am going to pinch it in the middle, and then I'll clip that one, and then I'll pinch the other one, and then I'll put them together, and I will grab this zip tie and I'll zip it together. I'm going to zip these 2 bows individually. I will do the orange one off camera because I will literally do the exact same thing. And then once I'm happy with how it's looking, I'll trim the ends, and then we are going to put these bows together. Here is how these 3 bows look like. Now it's time to start placing them. So I put the green one at the very bottom, and then the burlap one, and then the orange. I think these colors go so well together. I love it. Now I will use another zip tie and I'll zip them all together. I mean, you could do all just together and just use one zip tie, but I guess I don't trust myself enough, so I do one individually, but you know, feel free. Now I'll zip it together, and then I'll tighten it really good, and then I'll trim the end. Here is how our bow is looking. Now you could leave it here, you know, and just kind of cover the middle, but I wanted to add this raffia little bow I had. And so first I wanted to cover up the middle part where we zipped these bows together. I don't want that to show, and so I decided to grab some twine and then just wrapped it around. This is totally extra. You don't have to do this, but you know, I'm showing you what I did. I usually learn as I go, so that's the best I can do. And then I was happy with how it was looking. Now I want to add the raffia bow right in the middle, and I love this bow. It's so cute. Now the next step is to add it. I did have to remove some of the flowers off of it so I could add this bow, because at first I was gonna leave the wreath how it was, and then I decided I do want the bow, so now I had to create some space, and I just grabbed some of the twine and secured the bow in place. You know, I wrapped it around, and then I was like, I should have left a little bit of this twine to be able to hang it, but you know, we'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to hang this, but I just secured the bow in place with the twine, and then that was basically all for this project. I really love how big this wreath turned out. I really wanted it to be this big, and I'm so happy how this turned out. Now all that's left is just to fluff it up, fix all the leaves, and that is all for this project. Let's take a look. For this project, I will be using 4 wooden sticks as well as this wooden plank. I'm also going to use some Styrofoam, lots of greenery, as well as these berry picks. How cute are they? I'm also going to use some pumpkins because hello, it's fall, we need them. Now I will use this antique wax from Waverly and my stapler, and let's not forget our moss. Now I am going to start by grabbing the longer wooden sticks. These are from Dollar Tree. Most of this is from Dollar Tree. The only thing it's not is the antique wax and of course the stapler. I will take 2 of the sticks and mark a line on my bigger piece, because we are going to have to cut this one. Now I will be doing this twice because we have 2 sides, and you'll see why we'll need them. Now that they are marked, I will take my hacksaw and I will start cutting these. Now I did had a little bit of trouble, but at the end it ended up working out, and I will finish off camera. And now here are my 2 wooden pieces ready to go. Before we do that, I'll remove the stickers on the back of these wooden sticks. And then we are going to start with one of the smaller pieces we cut. We are creating a box, and I am going to take one of the little pieces and I will be gluing 2 of these sticks to it. Now, this is obviously not strong enough to hold. It will fall apart immediately. So this is just so I can get them on there and be able to, you know, staple them into place to make sure that they're not going to go anywhere. But I don't want to have problems with like them wiggling around while I'm trying to staple. So I decided to glue them first. Now that they are completely glued and dried, I will flip it on its side. And this is where my stapler comes in. I am going to add 1 staple to each stick. And I will do that on all 4 sides. Now, this staple thing, I bought it from Home Depot. And it's been so handy and so nice to have it. Makes it way easier. Now, they will be showing later, but it'll be fine. You'll see. Now I'm going to take this extra Dollar Tree sign and I will cut this to the size because I need to cover the bottom. Now you can always use some foam board if you have anything you have to cover the bottom. I wanted to use this, and so I just, you know, traced what I needed to cut and then cut it, and then I just cut the other piece, and now we have the bottom. Now I should have glued these the other way around so it would be cleaner on the other side. I didn't realize that when I was doing this, so you know, the uglier side end up at the bottom, but I mean, it's gonna sit down, so it's not like we're gonna be able to see it, but it did kind of bother me a little bit. Now I'm just grabbing this extra little sticks. They were actually the frame on this Dollar Tree sign that we're gluing right now, so that's what I end up using. And then I cut one of the pieces into smaller pieces to create little like blocks, I guess, to glue the corners. I have no idea where my tumbling blocks are. I just bought some new ones and I lost them again. So I end up doing this extra work. But if you have tumbling blocks, you can just glue the tumbling blocks into place and secure it, and you don't have to do all this extra crazy work. Then I just added a bunch of glue in the corners and on those longer sticks to, you know, make sure that everything's secure and it's not gonna fall apart. Once that is completely done, we are moving to the next step, which is adding some color to our box. Now, you could leave it as is. I needed it to be a little bit darker, so I am using the antique wax, but you can really use any paint or any stain you want to, color your box. So, have fun. Do whatever you want to do. Whatever color you like, go for it. I'm using my antique wax, and I really love this color. It's that brown that I really like, and I absolutely love it. And then I'm using a paper towel. I wet the paper towel, and then I just used that and started rubbing it on there. As you can see, it was falling apart, but we did it. We made it all the way to the end. Let's not forget the edges on this box. I really like how this box turned out because it looks so rustic, just how I like it. And this is going to be a great centerpiece for my dinner table. I'm so excited to use it. I have not done this switch to fall decor because I am using the last day of summer until, as long as I can. Here is the box. I didn't worry a lot about the inside, so I did what I could, but it's not as important because I'm gonna cover it up anyway. Now, I added a bunch of Styrofoam, as you can see, different ones I had laying around, and then I just started gluing them at the bottom. I didn't have a lot of hot glue, so I kind of just added a little bit. And then I'm going to add the moss into it to fill in and cover our Styrofoam. And this one I already had it, but I think you might need like about 2 bags of it. But I end up using what I had, so I'm sorry I am not accurate on how much I need. And then I had these different pieces of greenery. As you already probably know, I am trimming every single piece individually so I can just, play around and move it around as needed. Here, have fun. Just add the greenery to wherever you want and arrange it however you want. The thing here is like to have fun. I will say that this was therapy for me. I missed crafting so much, and especially fall. I don't know why. I like these colors, and honestly, fall and Christmas are always a fun time for me, and I love doing this. Now, if you have any ideas for Halloween, maybe I already asked you this, but I need ideas for Halloween. I don't know if I want to go scary or cute yet, but I'm all ears. I'm open for ideas. So let me know if you have any ideas down below. Now, it's time to have fun with our pumpkins. We had to have pumpkins in this one. I was dying to use these ones. So I'll be using 2 white ones, 2 orange ones, and the 3 little ones. All of this is from Dollar Tree. How cool is that? Now I'll add the white ones on the ends and then the orange towards the center. And then I'll just add the little ones to like fill in the spaces. But I end up adding the skewers on them because I needed them to be a little bit higher, and just sitting them on there, I didn't like them, so I just end up using some skewers to make them a little bit higher. Now these little pumpkins, I was going to just throw them in there, but they again were getting lost, so I just added some sticks and just push them in there, secure them in place, and I was way happier with it. Now all that's left is just to fluff it up and make it look nice. And I was going to forget the berries. Don't forget the berries. They add the extra pop of color that we need for fall. And that is all for this project. How beautiful is this box? Let's take a look at the end result. Creative Squad, thank you so much for watching. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Wendy and I love sharing my creative space with you. If you are not already, I would love for you to subscribe and join this Creative Squad. I got more DIYs coming. I just wanted to stop very quickly to remind you to follow me on Instagram and TikTok for additional content. Without further ado, let's jump back into the DIYs. For this project, I'm going to be using 2 wooden planks. Most of this is from Dollar Tree. This one, it is from Dollar Tree from that section of 5 and below. I'm also going to use the pack of 3 brown pumpkins. These other ones are actually from Walmart. I bought them last year. And then I'm going to use 2 candle holders, some floral foam, and of course some greenery. I will be using 2 bunches of these eucalyptus I picked up from Dollar Tree, as well as these cute white flowers and these bigger flowers. And I will also be using the antique wax from Waverly. Now, first things first, I will be taking the 2 wooden planks. I will hot glue them together. Of course, this is not strong enough, so this is just the beginning of the process. I will add some hot glue, glue them together, and then I have these other 2 smaller pieces of wood. You could use some tumbling blocks. This is what I had on hand, so that's what I'm using. I will glue them down, and even though, you would think that's secure enough, I am still gonna add some staples. Okay, here is what it looks like. Don't worry, it looks ugly, but we'll fix it here in a little bit. And then I'm going to take my Waverly antique wax and I will stain my wooden pieces. Now, this doesn't have to be stained. You could leave it as is, or you can even, paint it a different color. I like my wood colors, so I am going to stain mine. I will do the top. I will say I do give the top 2 coats and then on the sides as well. And then just make sure that everything's covered up. I thought I wanted to do the back, but it was kind of rough. And I was like, you know what? I'll leave it alone because it was, I don't know. The wood was rough on the back and it was not staining. And then here is what it looks like right now once it's dried. Now I am going to take my floral foam, and excuse this huge thing. This is the only thing I found to cut it and be done at once. So I cut this floral foam in 3 pieces and I am going to pick 2 of those. Now I am going to grab my wooden piece and I will sit those on top and I will push them forward a little bit. And then with my hand, I'm going to push it down so it can create a mark on it. And that way we know exactly where we need to cut. Now, keep in mind, if you cut these ones really thin, it might break. Mine didn't, but just keep that in mind. So here is, I grab my scissors. It's really easy to do. Just cut it and there you have it. Now you just put it back on there and it fits perfect. Yay. Now I will do the other one off camera as you can see. Now I am going to grab my candle holders and I will go ahead and place them on there to see exactly where they need to be. And then my pumpkin. The pumpkin can be any color, honestly. I just wanted to do some neutral color, so that's why I decided to go with that one. And then I am going to hot glue the floral foam down. I just wanted to make sure everything looked good before I went ahead and glued that floral foam down. Okay, now I put those back in the pumpkin and I just kind of play around with it and see exactly how I want it to sit. And then I'm just going to add hot glue. Again, the pumpkin can be any color. You can even use the foam ones that Dollar Tree has and painted. I wanted this one because it's a little bit bigger. Okay, now it's time to cut our floral foam. And I'm not a floral foam, I'm sorry. Our florals. And I cut these ones in different sizes. Some of them are going to be longer than others. You pick your greenery, you do whatever you want. I need this ones to sit a little bit lower, so I cut them pretty shortly. And then I'll cut all my flowers separately again, and also the other smaller white flowers. I wanted to go for neutrals this time, so this is why I choose this color palette, but you feel free to pick any flowers you want. Now, I forgot to purchase some more reindeer moss, and so this is what we have. So we're gonna make it last, and it's gonna be totally fine, I promise. So I mixed a few pieces I had of this other one, the Spanish moss. Or is that the reindeer moss? I don't remember which one is which, but I put that one down first and kind of cover the top. And, I had to like spread it and make sure that, kind of cover most of it. And then I used the other moss to glue on the sides. And this is so it can cover more of the floral foam, because the top I'm not too worried about because it will have flowers and stuff. But I was more worried about the sides. And so I kind of glue it on there carefully, but you will also need some of that, just one package should be good for this. And then I'm just gonna grab my candle holders and push them down exactly where we had created the holes already. And now it's just a matter of adding your greenery. I'm gonna start with the eucalyptus just so I can see where everything's gonna go, and we will move from there. And while we watch this happen, have you started decorating for fall? I just put my wreath outside on my porch, the orange one I created on my last video, and I'm so excited. I have a new video coming next week, and it's going to be actually Halloween theme. And let me tell you, it's going to be my first Halloween video, and I'm so excited because I never decorate for Halloween, but actually it was a request of my daughter. My daughter's 8 years old. Her name is Ashlyn, and she's so excited about Halloween, and she was like, can we please decorate? And I was like, yes, let's do it. Me and you, we can go broke because we always want to do everything. But anyway, I'm so excited because I have some ideas, and I will have Halloween themed stuff coming out on my next video. So stay tuned for that, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and added the bigger flowers. And then I thought I was recording, I apologize, but I didn't record the part where I added the smaller flowers. But just grab your florals and just put them wherever you think they look best. And yeah, just whatever you like. And then I just grabbed some skewers and cut them smaller to use those to stick into my pumpkins so they sit a little bit higher. And as you can see, I'm just playing around with them. I'm going to put 3 on each side, and I only have 3 brown ones and 3 white ones. So on one side is going to have 2 white and 1 brown, and the other one's going to have 2 brown and 1 white. I'm totally okay with it, but you feel free to arrange your pumpkins however you want. And all I have to say is I love how this project turned out. It's exactly what I envisioned. I am so happy. Let me know what you think down below. Do you like this one? Do you like your neutrals? Are you going for more orange? Are you going more spooky? I would love to know. Now all that's left is to add our candles, and we are done. Now let's take a look at the end result. For this project, I will be using this $3 pumpkin from Dollar Tree from that section above and below. I'm also going to use the classic orange pumpkin from Dollar Tree. I show you this eucalyptus greenery. I do not end up using it. I go for more neutrals, so I'm gonna pull different flowers and greenery that I have laying around. I have these pampas that my husband got me last year, so I'm gonna use those. And then this candle pillar, you can use any candle pillar. That one has seen better days. You can also use the Dollar Tree ones and just glue 2 of them together for more height. And then I'm gonna use some black, white paint, and brown. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is take the candle pillar and this black spray paint. This was like a last minute decision. This candle holder has silver parts on it, and I didn't think the chalk paint was going to do the job, so I just decided to spray paint it first. And I didn't like that spray paint because it's kind of shiny, so then I go in with my chalk paint and cover this completely on chalk paint, and I just give it 1 coat, make sure everything's covered up, and then we're good. We're going to let it dry, and we'll move on to the next step. The next step is grabbing our pumpkins. I'm going to start with this green one. Now, I would have grabbed a white one. They just didn't have one, so I'm gonna paint mine, but you feel free to leave it as is. Now the orange one, it's a really ugly orange, so we're gonna change that completely. I'll start with the green one. I will give it a good coat of white paint. Again, this might be an extra step. If you already have a white pumpkin, then you don't have to do this, but I didn't, so I'm gonna paint it. I will say I love this chalk paint because I only had to give it 1 coat and we were done. I was expecting to do 2-3 coats because this green color is, you know, kind of loud, and I didn't have to do that, and I was so excited. So I just gave this pumpkin 1 very good coat, make sure everything's covered up, and then we're gonna let it dry. As you can see, I did put it on this skewer stick so I could hold it and be able to turn it where I needed to turn it. And I'm gonna grab some Styrofoam and kind of just stick it on there and let it dry so it doesn't touch nothing. Now for the next color, I want to keep it neutral, so I'm gonna use the leftover white paint I have, and I'm just gonna add a bunch of this brown paint, and it's going to create this lighter orangey color, like more like a creamy color. I didn't have anything like that, so I had to do the extra step. So whatever color you're going for, just paint that orange, and or I guess that orange pumpkin, and change it to whatever color you want. I only had to give it one good coat and I was happy. And let me say, I love this color. I love how this color turned out. It's that creamy, it looks like coffee to me. I love it. And then once it's completely covered, we're going to do the exact same thing. Stick it on that foam piece and we're gonna let it dry. Now, once the candles are dried in our candle holder, we are going to put these pieces together. I will start with the white pumpkin and then we're going to put the other one on top. We're going to create kind of like a topiary. I think that's what it's called. I will use hot glue to support my pumpkins. These are not heavy at all, so they'll be totally fine. I'm going to start with the white one at the bottom and I will try to put it in the center and then kind of just push it down to make sure it's glued down completely. The next step is to grab our smaller pumpkin and we are going to steal the stem from that bigger one and put it on this one because it's way prettier than the one that Dollar Tree has on them. So I love that. And then I know you can see, but I will arrange my camera so you can see everything I'm going to do. And then I'm going to add some hot glue to that white one and then we're going to sit that brown one right on top. And here I had arranged my camera already, so you're going to be able to see everything I'm doing. I will take this maple leaves from Dollar Tree. These are actually from last year. I've been looking for the ones that they came out with this year and I have not found them. I went to like 4 or 5 Dollar Trees and they don't have them. They only have the orange ones. And I'm like, give me the white ones. But anyway, I was so excited that I saved these ones from last year. I only had like a few, like literally the ones I used for this project are the only ones I had left because I was mad and annoyed last year picking up all this stuff. And I was like, I just threw them away. And I was like, why did you do that? But anyway, we'll be fine. And at this time, honestly, I gave up trying to find them because I just haven't. But anyway, going back to this, as you can see, I added a bunch of the white flowers. These are actually from this year. And then I just added random neutral pieces that I had from greenery from last year and just have fun. I decided to drip it down on one side. So I added the flower right there on the side. I added some leaves and then I had this other flower. So I'm going to set it on top to give it that little something that is going to make it look prettier according to me. And then I had this pampas grass that my husband got for me last year. He actually cut it from somebody's house and he brought it to me and I was dying to use it. And it honestly doesn't go with my decor, but I was like, it's perfect for this project. So I just cut them in smaller pieces and put some on top, some around it, and I absolutely love this project. That is all for this project. It was a really easy, but I think it turned out beautiful. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm gonna stop talking. Let me show you the end result. For this project, I'm using this Dollar Tree wreath. As you can see, I'm reusing it. These other one from Dollar Tree as well. All of this is from Dollar Tree, by the way. Some greenery, some leaves, some pumpkins. These ones I used on my last video, and some cotton balls. Okay, first I'm going to take this wreath and I'm going to take it apart. So I am using my scissors to cut the little twine that this has wrapped around. This is what it looks like once I remove all of it. Now we're going to separate all these little tiny branches. And once that is done, we are going to move in to placing them onto this other wreath. Now this one is painted white. This is the only one I had on hand and I wanted to repurpose it. I didn't want to have to go buy another one. So that's why this one is white. But I feel like it would look a lot better if it was just that natural color. But I really do love anyway how this project turns out. Okay, I just randomly place them on there just wherever I think I need them and however I think is gonna look best. And then I took the leaves, the maple leaves from Dollar Tree, which I'm loving this very cute neutral colors. I took the little branches apart and I'm going to start placing them there. I'm gonna try to make it even on both sides. I want to say I used 2 bunches of them, but this ones I repurposed them from my last video, so I'm sorry I don't have the exact amount. Okay, once I finish putting all of those leaves on there, these little pumpkins I use on my last video. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it because it's a really good one as well. These ones they already have the word fall on them, but you know, you could paint them whatever color and you could just place them on there. I wanted it a very neutral wreath, which this one was inspired by Pinterest, and I love how this one turned out. Now I'm just adding a little bit of glue to hold that little leaf down. I'm gonna place a few more branches because I want this to look kind of rustic, if that makes any sense. I don't know, I just thought that it would look really great with all of these on there as well. And then once I finish placing all of these, I am going to move on to the next step here in a second. I'm going ahead of myself. Okay, I'm grabbing these. These ones are also from Dollar Tree, and it comes in a little bunch, and they're like dry little plants. I don't know what they're called, but I just take them all apart and I place them as well. I didn't glue anything down. Well, I glue a few things that I thought that they wouldn't stay where I want them to stay, but overall I just kind of stick them on there and they were fine. Like these cotton balls, I'm gonna glue them because they're not gonna stick on there by themselves. And once I finish placing them where I need them to go, I kind of just rearrange whatever is left, and here is the end result. I love how this wreath turned out. I'm loving my neutrals. I'm gonna go all in for neutral this year. Let me know what you think in the comments. For this project, I'm using some scraps of wood, and that one with the 50 cents on it is actually a Dollar Tree shelf I'm repurposing. And I'm also going to use this pumpkins from Dollar Tree, some white paint, and also some nails and some greenery. All right, I'm going to start by taking these pumpkins and taking them apart. I only need the pumpkins, so the football is gonna have to sit somewhere else. All right, now I'm going to take my white paint and I'm going to paint them completely. I do give them a couple of layers. I wish I had some chalk paint. I haven't got any, but you know, you could paint them any color you want. I went for this because you know I'm loving my neutrals. Next, I am going to be taking this antique wax from Waverly. It could also be some brown paint. I just had this one and that's why I'm using it. I'm going to start giving my pumpkin dimension, basically bringing back the lines that were already there, but we're going to use this brown color because you know, neutrals. But anyway, I had to look at a picture. As you can see, one was already done. That's because I pulled the picture from the original pumpkin and I kind of follow and draw it on these white ones. And once I was happy with it, as you can see, this one is looking kind of weird, but I fix it later. It's gonna be fine. All right, I do the other one off camera, and now it is time to put these wooden pieces together. I'm going to start by adding some hot glue and gluing the first piece down. Don't worry, we're going to nail this because you know hot glue is not going to do it. Okay, I'm going to glue the two smaller sides. Now this one is kind of going to stick out a little bit because I had a different plan, but we're going to roll with it. I love how this project turns out. Now I'm using these nails and I will leave information below if you want them, if you want to get them. I'm going to start nailing these. Now I only put like 2 on each side, or 1 on each side, just to hold it. I didn't think it needed a lot. It's holding up pretty good. Next, once the pumpkins are completely dry, I am going to place them on the front of this, and this is going to be like a candle holder type of thing with some really cute pumpkins on it. I am really proud of this project. I absolutely love it. Might be one of my favorites, I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna use hot glue for these ones. They're holding up pretty good. It looks very sturdy, but feel free to use some wood glue if it makes you feel comfortable if you decide to recreate it. Okay, I'm also going to be adding some floor foam, and at first it made sense to use it. I don't know if it was necessary, but you know, just do you if you decide to recreate it. Now I'm taking some Spanish moss and I'm going to fill it in so I can cover the little holes that are left in there. And I'm going to place these pillar candles from Dollar Tree. I wanted taller ones and I might look for taller ones because they kind of don't stick up the way I wanted them, and I didn't want to add any more floral foam because I didn't want to see it, and you know, it's green and I want to keep it neutral. But this is what I'm doing. I took some of those same leaves that I've been using, took them apart, and then placed them wherever I thought I need them. And this completes this awesome project. Very easy and beautiful. And here is the end result. I am absolutely in love with how this project turned out. I love all of these, but this might be my favorite one. I don't know. For this DIY, I'm using this Dollar Tree sign, some paint, and then some circle wooden rounds. These ones are from Hobby Lobby, and ignore the pumpkins in the back. Okay, we're going to start by painting our sign. This paint came from Hobby Lobby. I got it because it was cheap. I ended up switching to another paint because it was too thin and it wasn't giving me the coverage I needed. This one is linen from, I don't remember the company, but I'll let you know what it's called below. Okay, I'm going to paint this completely in this color, and I just give it one good coat and we are good to go. And once that is done, we're going to set it to the side and we're going to let it dry. Now I'm taking the circle rounds that I had used for one of my projects and I'm repurposing now, and I'm going to paint these in the color black. This paint is from Apple Barrel in the color black, and I'm going to make sure everything is painted completely front and back, and then we'll let them dry. Okay, next I am going to take these little squares that I picked up from Dollar Tree. It comes in a pack with like 15 or 20 little squares or cubes, and I'm going to use those to put my wheels together. Did you guess that I was making some wheels with them? Probably. Anyway, I'm going to glue my first little ones, and I try it on and it's perfect. If it's perfect, now we're going to glue these two wheels together, and I'm just going to make sure they're even. And once I glue these, I'm gonna finish the other one off camera. Once they are done, now it's time to try and see where we want them to sit, and so we can glue these as well. Now I wish I would have painted the little squares. I was moving too fast, but you know, you can barely tell. But if it bothers you, then go ahead and paint them black as well. Once they are glued in there, this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to take another little cube and I'm going to glue it to the front of this piece. And can you guess what we're making? Probably because you saw the thumbnail by now. Okay, now I'm going to paint it because I need it to be the exact same color. Once that is done, we're going to put it to the side. Okay, so first I was going to use the pumpkins I showed you at the beginning, and I said ignore them because I switched to these ones. I made a run to Dollar Tree and I found some more. I love these way better. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave them orange. I really like this color. It's going to be very neutral still. I'm going to take some raffia and some, what is that called? Some burlap trim, and I'm going to be creating some tiny little bows to decorate this pumpkins. It's going to be something very simple, but I really think it makes such a difference, and I really love how this project turns out. As you can see, I made simple little bows. Now I'm gluing them together. Now I am going to take a bamboo skewer and I'm going to paint it black, not white, sorry, I was about to say white, no, black. And I'm going to let it dry for now and we'll come back to it later. Next, I cut the word Happy Harvest with some vinyl using my Cricut machine, and I'm going to place it on here. Now, this is not my original idea. I did get inspired by something I saw on Pinterest. And anyway, I'm going to place these words in place, and I'm going to start removing the transfer paper, and this is looking amazing. All right, now I take 3 more of those little cubes and I'm going to glue the very first one. Well, I glue the little cube to the pumpkin first, and then I'm going to place some hot glue on there and place that pumpkin, or glue that pumpkin down. Then I take the other 2 and I'm going to glue them as well. As you can see, I decided to put the one with the green raffia in the middle so there could be a contrast. And as the last step, we are going to glue down the bamboo skewer that we painted. I added some hot glue, let it dry, and then I add some black paint, let it dry, and then I add the tiniest bit of hot glue so it could melt the one we had painted black. So when I place it there, it looks like it's meant to be there and it doesn't look like, you know, glue. And I really think this really made a difference. And now our wagon is completed. For this pumpkin centerpiece, I will be using this pumpkin from Walmart that was only 25 cents, and this backline from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to fill in the crevices of the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Once I'm done filling in all the crevices, I will be patting this on the pumpkin to make sure that everything is all the way pushed down and it's kind of smooth. The spackling should be dry within 30 minutes. I left mine outside for like an hour, and then after that I grabbed this sanding sheet and I started sanding my spackling to try to get it as smooth as I could, and this is what it looked like at the end. And now I just spray painted my pumpkin a white-ish color. Here is all the stuff I will be using to decorate my pumpkin with, and everything came from the Dollar Tree. As you can see, my pumpkin didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but it's okay because I'm gonna cover that up later. I'm starting by trimming down the handle of this pumpkin and then moving on to grabbing my Styrofoam and adding some hot glue on there and then putting it right into the pumpkin, and then I glue this one as well, and it's going to get sideways so I can get it a little taller. And that way all my greenery is sitting higher in the pumpkin. All right, I'm grabbing my leaves, and I only found 3 of these bouquets that go with my decoration colors that I picked. So I am spreading this out to make sure that I get the most out of these. So I'm just spreading them as I am applying them in the pumpkin. Now I'm just trying to adjust my leaves to make sure that they are even. All right, I'm going to grab these little bowls that are covered in glitter, and I'm trimming down the 3 pieces that come in the little greenery piece, and I'm going to start applying them to my pumpkin randomly. I have forgotten about the moss. I should have done this before I started putting all my greenery in, but I remember now, so now I'm just going to stuff my pumpkin with this. Now I'm grabbing these pine cones and I'm going to remove the red berries that came with it because I don't need them. They don't go with the colors I'm going for. And I will also be removing the green leaves because they also don't go with the colors I'm trying to go for. And then once I take all that stuff out, I'm going to stick them in the pumpkin and I'm going to spread them apart as much as I can. Now I'm going to grab this that they look like little branches that are a little bit frosted, and I'm going to start I also took those apart and I just spread them randomly around the pumpkin. I also have those same ones but in gold, so I will also be taking those apart and spreading them around my pumpkin. So one of the dollar stores I went to had this super cute dry grass. I wish they would have had more, but I only found one. It's super cute. I loved it. I think it gave my pumpkin a different look. I also took those and I just spread them around my pumpkin, and I love this. I decided to add more moss because everything kind of got pushed down, so I'm just adding more so it kind of sticks out a little bit. This pumpkin looks so cute already, but the part that I added this spackling, it's kind of bumpy and I don't like it, so I am going to be using this ribbon and creating a bow to put it on in front of that part to try to cover that up. Now that I like this bow, I'm going to hot glue it in place. And here is a picture of how this beautiful pumpkin turned out and how it looks on my table. For this centerpiece, I will be using this Dollar Tree basket as well as this burlap ribbon, and I'm going to take this out and I'm going to start by gluing this down with hot glue on one of the corners at the bottom. Now that my ribbon is glued down, I'm going to take this burlap ribbon and kind of measure around to trim this, because I am going to start running this through. It's basically, I'm gonna go in and out until I complete this. I know I'm not the best at explaining things, so I'm gonna let you watch what I'm doing. I get back to where I started, I am going to glue down my ribbon. Now I am going to be doing the exact same thing on the top part, and this time I'm gonna glue my ribbon on the next little wire piece, not at the same level as the one I glue at the bottom, because I don't want the metal pieces to show all the way down. I know I'm not the best at explaining things, I am so sorry. So this is basically what I'm talking about. As you can see there, like not the same wire on the top and on the bottom is showing. Because this basket is a little bit more wider at the top, I am tugging on this ribbon to make sure that it's tight and it's not going to look ruffly, if that makes any sense. And once I'm happy with how tight it is, I am going to glue this into place. Now that that is completed, I am going to take a piece of cardboard and I am going to trace kind of like the shape of my basket, and then I'm going to take my scissors and cut that to be able to put that inside, and then be able to take my Styrofoam and be able to glue it into place, because the wire is the basket, it is wire and it doesn't have nothing to grab onto. So now that I have the piece of cardboard, it's able to sit on there safely. All right, now I'm taking my leaves and I'm going to be trimming those apart. I'm going to take my Spanish moss and fill in my basket. You see what I did here? Now I did realize it before I started stuffing things into place. All right, now that my moss is in there, I decided to glue down my little piece of cardboard because it was moving around. Now I'm just going to start applying my leaves, and I'm going to make sure that they're even spread. Now I'm going to take my glittery stems and I'm going to take those apart, and I'm going to also apply them to my basket, and I'm going to randomly just apply them. Now I'm taking the pine cones and I'm taking those apart because I want to be able to spread them out on my basket. So I'm just randomly going to apply those as well. Now I'm taking some of those glittery berries and I'm going to apply those as well. This is what my little basket looks already, and I love it, but I think it's missing something, so I'm going to be creating a little bow. So I'm going to be taking the same burlap ribbon that I used for my basket, and I am going to create a little bow. And once I'm happy with my little bow, I am going to glue it in place with some hot glue. Here is a picture of my little basket. I think it turned out super cute. For this project, I'm using 3 little signs from Dollar Tree, these little pumpkins, these leaves, as well as some Spanish moss. I'm also going to be using some Styrofoam, and last, these dry little stems. Now I'm going to start with the little pumpkins. I'm going to remove the clips and replace them with these bamboo sticks. I'm also removing the top stem on them. Now it's time to paint these little pumpkins, and this is the reason why I added the bamboo stick, because it's easier to grab and easier to fully cover this pumpkin. I gave this little pumpkin 2 coats of paint, and then I sat it on top of this little floral foam for them to dry. Now I'm taking the Dollar Tree long signs and I'm going to remove the wrapping first. Once that is done, I'm going to use some hot glue and I'm going to glue these 3 little signs. Once everything is glued, it looks like a crate, but it's a taller crate and I love it. Now here I am gluing the very last one. Just make sure everything is even. Now I'm taking the green floral foam from Dollar Tree and I'm going to cut it in 4 pieces. I'm going to use this to glue it inside of my little box. Here I am adding some hot glue. I'm gonna add the 2 ends, and then for the 2 middle parts, I'm just going to trim what I don't need because of that little piece in there. And now it fits. Now the 2 little pieces left over, I'm gonna squish them in that little piece that was left empty. Now I'm gonna take my spinach moss and I'm going to add it into my soon to be little box, and I'm going to glue it just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. I don't add a lot of glue because I want to be able to add my florals in there as well. Here is what is looking so easy and simple. Okay, now it's time to take these leaves and I'm going to take them apart. I'm also taking this dry other little stamps. I'm also cutting them to smaller pieces. That way everything is even. I don't end up using all of it. I do put the longer piece to the side. But here I am cutting all of them, and now it's time to start decorating this a little centerpiece. It could be a centerpiece or just, you know, decor. I just add the leaves wherever I think I want them, and then I'll go in with the drier little stamps and I just randomly place them in there. And here is what it's looking like. You know, whatever you don't like, place it somewhere else, and it's whatever you like. And here are my little pumpkins. Now they are dried. I'm replacing the bamboo stick for these little floral stems because they're darker and they're gonna match the stems from these other leaves. That's why I did that. You don't have to do that, but that's what I decided to do. Okay, so I use my Cricut machine and some vinyl to cut the word fall. You don't have to do that. You can do it with stickers if you have some at home, but this is what I end up doing for mine. Now it's time to place them inside this little box, and here is the end result. I love how this little piece turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. For this project, I'm using this canvas, some more florals, this scrap of wood, some white paint, and the word thankful. Now, I'm going to start by removing the canvas sheet or whatever that is called off of this frame, and this canvas came from Dollar Tree. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I used it in my last video and now I'm repurposing it. Okay, once I remove everything, this is what it looks like, and it looks amazing on the inside. I was so happy that this looked this way because it kind of looks like a window. But anyway, I'm going to remove the staples that this little piece had in the corners because I don't like them. Now, I'm taking my acrylic white paint and I decided to paint this frame completely white. You could stain it, you could paint it a different color, you could leave it the way it is. I decided to go with white paint. Once it's dried, the next step, I forgot to record it. I am so sorry. But essentially what I did is grab the scrap of wood I showed you in the beginning. I grabbed these clips and I am holding them into place because I am going to be creating a shelf. And I drilled some holes. Now I'm going to be screwing these into place. And once I remove the clips, this is what it looks like. It looks amazing. I love it. Now I'm going to grab the word thankful and I'm going to remove the hanger off of this because we're not gonna need it. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but once I started painting it, I was like, you know what, I think I want to distress it. And as you can see, the T, I almost painted it completely. I go in and I'm like, oh no, that's not what I want to do. So I remove the paint what I can, and then I continue to distress this thankful word, and then I go around the edges. I am just going in with some paint. I love how this is looking, but I did mess up, so I have to go back in there with a sanding sponge and I try to remove as much as I can. And once I think that I remove enough, I go back in there with some white paint just to kind of distress it a little more and make it look nicer. This is what I'm doing. I like it this way. Now we're gonna let it dry. Okay, now we're taking some more greenery. Yay! Some more leaves, and I'm taking them apart. Now this little stem has five little pieces, so I remove one of them off of them and I add it to the other one so I can have two on each side and they can be even. And as you can see, now I am going to grab the two stems and I'm going to add some hot glue and glue them together to make sure they don't move. Now I split the other little wheat pieces and I am going to be placing them on there as well. And I created two little bunches. I grabbed the little black ties and I tied the first one together, and once it's tied enough, I cut off what I don't need. And here's the first little bunch. Now I do the second one off camera. Here they are. Now I am going to remove what is at the bottom because I don't want that to be peeking through, and I am trying to play with this and see where I want this at, and I tried different places. This is what I like best, so I'm going to go ahead and glue it with some hot glue, both little sides. Now it's time to hang this into our frame. And I'm using some twine rope. Once I decide how long I need these to be, I cut them off and then I create knots on the end. That is so when we go to hang it, we can staple it into place and it's not gonna go anywhere. Now here is my stapler. I push in it. I was afraid that it was gonna go through the whole thing, but it didn't. Thank God, we were safe. And now I turn it around. Now I am going to staple it onto the frame. Here it is, and let me tell you, I absolutely love how this project turned out. And here it is, the end result. For this project, I'm using this Dollar Tree ring wreaths that I picked up the other day. I'm only going to be using two, and I'm going to use these little greenery fall decor pieces as well as these stamps. I'm also going to use Dollar Tree ribbon. Okay, I'm going to start by taking apart the greenery or whatever you want to call this, and I'm going to split all of these, take them apart. Here I am. Now I'm going to take these black stamps. I picked them up from Dollar Tree. I need 2 pairs of 2, so I'm going to divide it in 2 and then cut those in half, and here they are. Okay, now I'm going to grab these Dollar Tree tights and I'm going to take the first bunch of the little stamps and I'm going to place half on each side. Now I'm taking these other greenery pieces and I'm going to divide them. I'm going to sit them on top of the black stamps, and I'm just gonna divide the little wheat or whatever that is called, and then once I am happy with how it's looking on each side, I'm going to tie it with these little ties from Dollar Tree. Don't worry about it because we're gonna cover those up and you won't even know that they're there. Okay, this is what it looks like. Now I turned it around and I'm going to reinforce with some hot glue just to make sure that nothing's gonna move, and you could skip that step, but I wanted to go extra and secure it. Now I'm going to place these other stamps and 2 on each side, and I love how it's looking. Now I decided to use the black and white ribbon, and I'm going to start tying it around. I go the first round and cover the first little tied, and then I cover the second one, and then I'm just going to make a little simple bow. These wreaths are so easy and so simple, but I love how they turned out. Now I'm going to cut the ends of these little pieces of ribbon, and I'm going to dovetail them, and here we are. Now I created the second one off camera, and here is the end result. These look so high-end, so pretty. I'm in love with them. Creative Squad, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and click on any of these videos for additional inspo. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on my next DIY. Bye.